If you are a lover of exotic places and cannot imagine your life without extreme sports and risk, you will definitely like the places we will tell you about and you will add them to your list. However, there is one problem. Tourists are not allowed into these destinations. Find out below what is the reason for this injustice. Top 5 places where tourists are not allowed. Let's go. We'll tell you and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. The island, which is located 35 kilometers off the coast of Brazil, seems like a great place to relax. But in fact, there are many risks associated with snakes on Queimada Grande. The main inhabitants of the island are poisonous snakes, of which there are about 4,000. There are 9-10 amphibians for every square meter. The island is home to one of the most dangerous snakes, the island Bothrops, whose venom is very strong and, when bitten, instantly causes tissue necrosis. Even if you are not afraid of snakes and want to risk visiting Snake Island, you will not be able to do so since the Brazilian authorities have imposed a ban on visiting it. But diving or fishing off the coast is allowed. Second place, we have North Sentinel Island. In the Bay of Bengal, on one of the Andaman Islands, the Sentinelese tribe lives. It avoids any contact with civilization and does not like strangers. According to scientists, the tribe is more than 60,000 years old. Now there are from 50 to 400 Aborigines living on the island who do not simply run into the forest at the sight of strangers, but defend their territory with bows and arrows and spears. For example, they used them to fire at an Indian government helicopter a few years ago. And in 2006, fishermen who were sailing in the area of the island died at their hands. After this tragic incident, Indian authorities urged their citizens to stay away from the Sentinelese Island and its inhabitants. In addition, the island is surrounded on all sides by reefs on which many ships have already crashed. Third, we have tiger reserves in India. Another place in India, access to which was prohibited by the authorities. In 2012, the country's top court banned tourists from visiting all national parks that house Bengal tigers. Every Indian state has created buffer zones for endangered species, despite the fact that this has significantly hampered tourism development. But this measure made it possible to restore the tiger population. Their numbers increased by 30%. Fourth place, Grunerd Island. More than half a century ago, the Scottish island of Grunerd was purchased by the British government, which wanted to test biological weapons such as anthrax on it. It turned out that it significantly and permanently pollutes the area and is extremely dangerous to life, fatal in 95% of cases. Even before the 80s, the island was completely closed to visitors and was the most dangerous place on the planet. In 1986, scientists began to clean up the island. They sprayed 280 tons of formaldehyde diluted with seawater and then released sheep onto Grunerd. The experiment for the animals was successful. They remained alive and healthy. And even though the island is now considered safe, there are no people willing to settle on it. Moreover, according to archaeologists, anthrax spores remained in the soil of Grunerd, which means that it is impossible to live on the island for hundreds of years. Next, we will talk about the island. In the waters of Iceland in 1963, a series of underwater volcanic eruptions occurred, resulting in the formation of an island with an area of 2.7 square kilometers. He immediately attracted the attention of scientists from all over the world. The island was named Surtsey in honor of Surt, who, according to myth, was the ruler of the fire giants. The island is closed to tourists and serves exclusively scientific purposes. Scientists are watching plants, insects, worms, and birds take over new land as once barren volcanic pumice becomes fertile. In the 1980s, there were 20 plant species on the island of Surtsey, and in 2008, there were already 69. Later, UNESCO included the island on the World Heritage List, noting its great scientific value.